What if everything you call a choice was already made before you even thought it?
You didn't choose to be born. You didn't choose your body or the world you wake up in every day. And yet, they say you're free. Free to do what, exactly?
Maybe free will is just a well-performed illusion.
Have you ever wondered if what you call a choice is just a sophisticated illusion? Think about it. What made you listen to this right now? Was it really a choice, or was it an invisible push, a buildup of fatigue, memories, and patterns that led you here as if you chose it, when really you were just following the current? No, I'm not talking about spirituality, not about the universe aligning. I'm talking about something colder, sharper. What if your free will is just a trick your mind plays on itself?
This has been tested. Scientists put electrodes on people's heads and told them to press a button whenever they felt like it. The result? The brain made the decision before they felt they had decided. In other words, the choice was made before the conscious mind even knew. The rational mind came later, like a slow spokesperson, trying to justify something already done. You still think you're in control? You didn't choose to be born. Not where, not how. You were born into a specific country, with a culture, a language, and an idea of right and wrong, all shaped before you could speak. You didn't choose your body, your temperament, the sound of your voice, the historical moment you were dropped into. And over time, you collected trauma you didn't ask for, emotional habits you picked up without realizing, and beliefs passed down as if they were truth. Still, they tell you, you're free. Free to do what? The theater of freedom. We live on a stage where the set is invisible. You move, you speak, you decide. But maybe the script was already written. Maybe your lines were rehearsed by everything that shaped you, and yet you still feel like you're choosing. You still feel like you're steering the ship. Because humans need that. The illusion of freedom might be more important than freedom itself, and maybe that's all we really have. But what if it's not an illusion? What if free will is real? Then comes the other side of the coin. Because if you truly have free will, then you're the only one to blame for your life, your broken promises, your abandoned dreams, your job that drains you, your relationship that became emotional anesthesia. If it's all a choice, then you're the author. And maybe that's even heavier, because total freedom comes with total responsibility. Free will versus absolute determinism. Neither extreme is comfortable. If it's all free will, then every failure is your fault. If it's all determinism, then nothing matters. You're just a cog in a machine, or a captain on a ship who doesn't know where the ocean is. Neither side satisfies. Which is why most of us live in a foggy space in between. The gray zone, where we really live. Maybe we're not full authors, but we're not just obedient actors either. Maybe we don't write the whole script, but we get to improvise the tone of our voice between the lines, like a song with a fixed melody where you can still play with the rhythm. Repeating patterns, broken choices. Ever found yourself making the same mistake even when you knew it was a mistake? Like there's an autopilot? You see the wall, you accelerate, and only feel it after the crash. How many times have you said never again and did it anyway? How many times did you promise to change and ended up right back where you started? Maybe the freedom we have isn't in the choices themselves, but in how we react to what's already been chosen for us. Autonomy isn't absolute. It's contextual. You didn't choose to be born with anxiety, but you can learn how to live with it. You didn't choose your parents, but you can choose whether to repeat their story or break the cycle. You didn't choose your trauma, but you can choose what to build from it. That's where real freedom lives. Not in controlling everything, but in creating something from what's left. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want, it's understanding why you want it. Most people chase things without ever asking where those desires came from. You want more money, more respect, more freedom, but why? Do you really want it? Or did you learn to want it? When you start looking inward, you begin to realize many of your wants are just echoes of your environment, or fear disguised as ambition. So what's the point of all this? If you're atheist, agnostic, or just done with the idea of a God, you've probably felt this question echoing inside. If there's no divine plan, what's the point? But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe meaning isn't something you find. Maybe it's something you build. Maybe purpose isn't out there. Maybe it's in the small,
conscious decisions you make inside the chaos. You may not be free for everything, but you are responsible for something. And maybe that's enough. You didn't choose the stage, but how you walk on it, that's yours. Not to please a silent God, not to earn paradise, but because choosing to live with awareness is the only act of rebellion in a world pushing you toward autopilot. The world wants you to be a spectator, but you can be the author. Even if you only write one paragraph, even if all you do is change one word, even if the plot is fixed, you still get to decide how you face each scene. And sometimes, that's all it takes to change a life. For reflection, think about everything you once believed was impossible. How many of those things still hold you back? How many of them did you simply accept as fate? You don't need a miracle, you need a decision. Small, imperfect, but conscious. One spark of clarity can redirect an entire life.
If this conversation resonated with you, share it. Leave a comment below. Do you believe in free will? Yes or no? Or is everything already predetermined? Your answer could spark a dialogue that someone else needs, someone who has never had the space to reflect and share their thought. And what if you're part of a new kind of belief? A belief without gods, without dogmas, without promises. Just a minimal kind of faith that it's still worth trying. That meaning can still be found even in a chaotic world, and that carving your own path, even within limits, is what makes us human. Thanks for staying with me this far. In a world of fast swipes and empty noise, you listened until the end. That says something. Here, we don't offer salvation. We offer questions, reflections, provocations. If you want to keep thinking with us, subscribe to the channel. Not because you should, but because maybe this gave you something you didn't know you needed. And if it moved you, tell us in the comments. What did you take from this? What thoughts did it spark? Do you think your life is written by a higher being? Or are you writing it yourself? Let's keep the conversation going. Because sometimes, all we really need is someone to say, "You're not thinking these things alone." Join the dialogue in the next video. See you there.